Hi Starseeds, and welcome to your reading. This week I'm going to allow you guys to pick your own deck because we're going to bring in messages from your home frequencies. So these readings will be a bit more curtailed to you and be personal to you. So the decks that you have to choose from, and this will be the primary oracle deck I use in your reading. I'm going to use other decks obviously, but this will be the primary. We have a cosmic reading cards, the blue messiah reading cards, Sacred Spirit reading cards, and then down here we have Work Your Light Oracle cards, White Light Oracle, and then the Starseed Oracle. So look at those choices and really tap into each deck and, feel which one is going to contain the messages from your home frequencies. I will start with the Cosmic reading cards. So if you are interested in that, stick with me. For the rest of you, go to timestamps below this video for the others. Hello, so let's get right into your reading and see what your home frequency is, your collective, where you come from, Starseeds. Let's see what they have to say to you. And this could be really anything. I'm leaving it completely open to whatever they want to discuss and talk about with you. So the first card out is gratitude, and look at the image. Just look at that image. That's you. And with this, I'm feeling some Syrian energy, actually. It may be all the blue, but that's like the first thing that I picked up on with this card. But with gratitude, this may mean that some of you have kind of lost your way recently or as of late. And what I mean by that is, with just everything going on and the heavy energies that are at work right now, without you realizing it, your heart can start to harden. You can become jaded and not even know it, all right? And I've learned that lesson personally myself very recently. And this coming out is that message to you is, you're losing sight of your light, and it's because you have a big focus on like the lower vibrational energies, and it's this is, again, it's like you're not aware of it, and it's where your focus is at. And we've always got to be informed, right? But your collective is trying to pull you back in to like the seat of your soul, to reconnect to your heart space, because look at that, right? Where the heart chakra would be, there's that big white light right there. And so biggest message coming through is your collective wants to reacquaint you with your heart chakra, with your heart space, and show you where you've become hardened and jaded. Next is patience, and so this being their next message is you don't want to hear it. There's certain things that you're very tired of. You want change, you want it right now, and they're saying everything is a process, and you just have to be very patient. And next out is walk your truth. And I just want to point something really spectacular out that happened with these three cards. This is card 15, this is card 25, and this is card 35. So there is definitely elevation of your energy that's taking place, where you're taking steps up, all right? 15, 25, 35, and this is walk your truth. And the reason why they pointed out that you have become a bit jaded. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. I'm just knocking everything over. I just want to make sure these aren't glaring, the light isn't hitting them. Okay, perfect. They want to bring you back to your heart space and like clear that out. And some of you may have some baggage or a lot of clogged up energy in your heart chakra because of different things that you've been going through, personally experiencing, as well as what's happening worldwide at this time. So they want to lead you back to your heart space and help you heal and process and filter all of that to get you back on track for what you're here for, what this is really all about. And I even said that to my friend, and what really reminded me and grounded me was giving a reading, a personal reading to somebody who has lost her husband. He's transitioned and she's left here raising the kids, and just doing that reading, it kind of ripped me apart, just feeling the intensity of the pain and all those things. And that's what it took for me to be reminded, okay, yeah, this is what this is all about. You know, having the gift of being able to soothe the unsoothable. And you guys have that here. In fact, you guys are like near and dear to my heart. I feel you guys are going through the same exact lesson that I just went through. And you need to be recentered, grounded, and focused back to what you're here for, to walk your truth, to stand in your light. And so your, you know, collective is trying to come in and really help heal you in that heart space. And there's going to be a discussion or an experience you have that's going to remind you, just as I was reminded. So let's pull some tarot and kind of, you know, see what else is going on here with this message. Nine of activations. Yeah, you are feeling a lot, very overwhelmed in several different areas of your life. Right here, this speaks volumes. Next is the 10 of activations. Wow. So a lot of what you've been going through and struggling with has been activating you and awakening you so that you can have a major breakthrough, a major elevation. As you see, you know, this lady's hands is holding her head way, way up high. 10 of activations, like you are at like the end of a major growth cycle, major activation and upgrade cycle, which means you have been going through a lot. And that's why your collective is now trying to lead you back to your heart space, to, you know, crack it open, to melt the barrier that has grown around it out of self-protection and preservation, because you've learned your lessons. 9 of activations, 10 of activations. So you have that, you know, elevation of your energy, because the numbers go up: 15, 25, 35, 9, 10. And we got another 10. Yes, the 10 of intuition. Oh, everything you guys have been going through is to open you up much more spiritually, to anchor you deeper into your intuition, to trust yourself more. And I feel that this is a spiritual time just in general. Right now, the Great Awakening is happening, you know, with the movement of Saturn, the 444 portal, just everything that's going on. And you guys, all you've been going through has been preparing you for these next 3 years of humanity, of existence. Because I mean, 2 10s, yeah, so you've been going through it. That's why you've kind of lost sight. That's why you need to be reminded about what it's all for, because you've been in the trenches. You've really been going through it. Next out is the Lessons Healer. Nice. It is time to heal. It is time to release the shackles around your heart, the pain, the darkness, the shadow. That would be another good term for this, is doing a lot of shadow work. And now you have the Lessons Healer coming in. So with Lessons Healer, that tells me again that you've been going through it because you had a lot of growing, learning, and preparing to do to fully awaken and activate for these next 3 years, from March 2020 to March 2023. And now the healing energy is coming in, not just from your collective, but there's somebody in your life, or somebody that you're going to meet, that's really going to help you heal. And this could be like a Reikiist, you know, a tarot reader, a medium, or this could be a friend or spiritual companion that you have. But this is coming in deep healing, all the way from the mind, the heart, into the soul. 2 of Lessons. Okay. This right here is the only card that's really like out of sync with the flow of this reading. And the 2 of Lessons is where there is something that has continually repeated in your life, a circumstance or a situation, and it keeps happening over and over. And that's because you haven't learned some aspect of this lesson. You keep making like the same choice over and over about something, and part of this is what has you know, jaded you or placed that barrier around your heart space, is because you have kept going through like this same scenario, this same set of circumstances, and it's because there's something about it that you haven't fully grasped. However, the good news with this is I believe you finally have, okay? And I'm sorry, I tried to make these not glare for you guys. Let's see. Nope, that made that much worse. Sometimes if I put them down like that. All right. Oh, so sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. Because sometimes I watch it back and I'm like, oh, that's glaring, it's horrible. The good news is, though, with the 2 10s here, it's like finally been totally incorporated within you, within your subconscious mind, and now it's time for the big shift to take place, the healing to come in, your collective leading you back to your heart space to, you know, realign you for what you're here to do. So let's pull some more tarot to further clarify these cards here. We have the 5 of Swords coming out under these 9 of activation. So yeah, you've gone through quite a bit, and I feel in relationships and also people like really bashing you, putting you down, making you feel small, a lot of arguments, like you really having to fight for what you believe in and stand your ground, and it's taken a lot out of you. Under the 10 of activations, we have the 8 of Wands. So I would say over these last 3 years leading up to this point, you've really, it's been like this rapid acceleration of learning, of growing, of expanding to prepare you for now and what's to come, you know, over these 3 years and really over the next 6 years. And under 10 of activations, you're finally there. And so with the 8 of Wands, this is like a deep, profound healing, just as accelerated as everything that you've been going through coming from your collective. Next is the 4 of Swords. So it is definitely a period of renewal, healing, and recovery. And as that happens, as you heal and rebalance yourself, you're going to realize how much stronger your intuition is and just how much more aware you are of things. And you're going to realize that some of your beliefs have actually shifted without your realizing it. And it's because everything you've been going through, all that experience, is transforming into wisdom and making its way into your conscious mind, which becomes who you are and reshapes your perspective about everything. Next is the 10 of Wands. So I like to see this, another 10, another completion, that rapid acceleration, and that's coming out under the Lessons Healer. So you're done. You're going to let down this burden, this heavy load, and in that space you just rise, and you are so much more expanded than you ever were before. And look at this, we've got another 10 coming through, 10 of Swords on top of this 2 of Lessons. And so for many of you, you're very empathic, okay? And what this is about is where you've had to learn the lesson of, you know, tough love, where you have to cut somebody off, even though you feel them, you have compassion, you have empathy, you care, you love, all those things. But you see like they are a construct of their own demise by their choices, their behaviors. And so some of you have been really like, entertaining certain connections like this for a while, and you're coming to the place of a big purge and release and like severing of lower vibrational relationships, ties, and energy, because you're rising, you're being led back to your heart space. You've learned your lessons, you've done your work, and you have been prepared for what's up ahead these next 3 years. And so a lot of heavy energy is now being purged out of your life, and you're elevating up. You've got 4 10s going on here, okay? So that's like across the board. All right, let's pull some cards to look at, you know, what's going on spiritually for you. Anything, you know, that's shifting, changing. Solitude journey. So it's time to walk alone for a little bit, or you have been walking alone for a little while. Spiritual business, the preparation. Many of you are meant to, whatever it is, you know, where you're gifted with spiritual, with Starseed, with all of it, you're meant to earn your income that way. You are meant to have a spiritually based business as your primary source of income. Next is shadow beings. Okay, so this is an energy that you are here to balance out. You are the light against this darkness. Never forget that, because the darkness will try to pull you down, which is what has been happening. And now your collective coming in to remind you, to rise you back up, reconnect you to your heart space, because there is no connection to heart space there. Here we have religions. So with the religions coming out, this is probably where a lot of this attack has come from, you know, and I experienced that myself, you know, people telling me they'll pray for my soul and this and that, and I'm evil. And I'm like, okay, you know, all I do is preach about love and being kind and bettering yourself. And if that's evil, okay, then I guess I am, if that's what it's for. Because I'm like, to what end? To what end would darkness want light to just be projected everywhere, and so much love and healing? It just wouldn't be. So those of you who have really been attacked for what you believe, it's only this energy trying to push you down, okay? And that's why your collective is coming in to pull you back up. Next out, deep healing. Yep, that is what is now taking place for you. A great purge, a big time healing all the way down into your soul to remind you of what you're here for, and for you to shake off all these lower vibrational energies, because that's just what it is. It's like, you know, they can only affect you and hold on to you while you're in the lower vibration, and you had to be in that lower vibration to learn certain lessons and to get prepared for, you know, what's going to unfold over these next 3 years. And you've done it. You've completed your journey, your process. It's time for purge, for heal, for elevation, and again, a spiritually based business. Many of you are meant to do this as, like, you know, your primary job. You've just got to believe, you've got to trust, and you have been prepared for it. My goodness. All right, let's pull some advice. Freedom. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. Vibration. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. You are connected to a cosmic intelligence. And see, that sits right on top of that shadow being. And inner worlds, your external world is a reflection of your inner world. And as you go through this purge and you know, deep healing, and your consciousness expands from all the lessons that you have learned, your external world is going to start to appear different. You're going to feel more empowered. You're going to remember what it's all about, and you're just going to feel strong and able and capable of doing so. And right now, it's time for rest and recovery, okay? So those are the messages from the cosmic reading cards. I am sending you all so much love and light. Take care of yourselves. Hi there. So let's get right into your reading and see what your collective has to say to you guys, coming through the Blue Messiah Oracle cards. I really love this deck, by the way. It's something special, that is for sure. Okay, nice. We've got the soul vessel coming through, and that's just talking about the multi-dimensional being that you truly are. I mean, just look at the imagery, like down in the earth plane, the roots, you know, that's the lowest part of the vibration of you coming into the physical. And then here you are, like, you know, branching out into multiple dimensions, the information, the light, the understanding, and you receive so many light codes and anchor them down into the earth plane. So you are a soul vessel. And also you see the third eye being represented, as well as the heart chakra. So I know that your collective is going to talk about the third eye and the heart chakra with you guys, okay? So that is soul vessel. Next is vibration. So your energies, your frequency, your primary place where you are is going to shift and change. And, you know, sometimes that's a very hard process, just depending on where you're currently at and what you're about to shift into. And it could be where there's some purging that's involved. You could feel some ascension, symptoms physically, you know, headaches, backaches, stomach aches, just weird stuff happens, you know. And I can tell you personally, I've gone to the doctor multiple times and I'm like, I'm nauseous, I'm hot and cold flashing, I'm this and I'm that. And they check everything, they draw blood. There is not a thing wrong with me. And I always feel so embarrassed, but I feel so crappy that I'm like, something's got to be wrong, and nothing is wrong. So, you know, some of you definitely going through that and your collective wanting to acknowledge that. Also to tell you you're about to have a huge leap here. And lastly, rainbow body. Look at that. You are something special. You have multiple tasks while you are here on the earth plane, and also you aside from being multi-dimensional, you're very talented. You have a lot of different gifts, like you know, some of you could be mediums as well as a master Reiki healer. Okay, you're meant to do multiple different things. Many of you I see speaking in front of large crowds, whether that's an actual audience, you know, doing some sort of like vlog or a podcast of some kind, sharing information of what you know. And look at how similar the imagery of this person is to how this person, you know, the arms are wide open with the head back, the torso being completely open and exposed and vulnerable to the energies, and the heart space. You've got the heart space there, you've got the heart space there. So you guys are going to receive an activation and an upgrade to your heart space and your vibration. And I feel like you guys are going to feel like you're being stretched, and your team is like, don't worry about that, like this is part of the process. You're really like you're moving into other realms. Oh, it feels so nice. Let's pull some tarot. Oh, yeah. We've got the Ace of Lessons, and you see the magic written on that book. Yes, you guys are going to a whole new realm. You are opening up to a brand new skill within. It's not brand new, but it's unfamiliar and unknown to the personality that you carry this lifetime through this life journey. But it's always been a part of you, and now you've done enough work, enough soul evolution, that it's time to awaken to that gift and talent in this life journey. Now we have some of the manifestations, and it's time to leave the past, to let something go, to let, you know, heavy burdens. This could be thoughts. This could be, you know, repeating patterns of behavior. This could be relationships. There's just something that kind of is holding you back, and it's time to let go of that. And this also says, you know, don't feel ashamed or guilty for who and what you are and what you believe and what you're here to do. It's time to have this major purge so that you can move forward and into these new energies that you are meant to tap into. Next is, oh, you got another ace, the Ace of Intuition. So this would go into that third eye, the activation taking place there for you. Okay, so coming into a spiritual gift that is yours, that you've mastered before this journey, and now a big time activation coming in to your third eye, which has to do with your vision and your intuition. Two of activations. Nice. You are really being upgraded and turned on right now. And lastly, we have the three, the creator. Nice. Okay. So this is the most significant of all of these that came out, to be honest, because look at, this is what you're transforming out of and what you're evolving into, which is a much more expanded, wiser, worldly, multi-dimensional being. You guys are something special coming through with this Blue Messiah deck. I'm telling you, you're only my second reading out of all of them, but the energy from the cosmic cards to the Blue Messiah, what's coming through is quite different. And you know, there's a little skull right there, and that comes back to the Seven of Manifestations, what you've got to leave behind. There has to be a purge of sorts because you're having this vibration shift, and you know what that is for you personally. And so your team saying, hey, you need to let it go. You need to love yourself. You need to believe in yourself. You have the Ace of Lessons and the Ace of Intuition, and then the Two of Activation. So, you know, here it is, the activation of spiritual gift that you previously mastered in other journeys, and then a major activation to your third eye chakra. Now, where the heart chakra comes into play is the purge, what must be left behind, these lower vibrational energies, so that these two activations can reach their full potential. And then you shift, like, even though you are of this world, walking of this world, it's almost like you're in a different dimension as you experience this world. So let's pull some more tarot to further clarify. Eight of Wands, nice. So this thing, this gift, this spiritual gift is going to activate very rapidly, and you're like going to become, you might think it's brand new to you, but you become a pro like almost overnight. There's a lot of energy being directed towards you from your collective as well to help with this process. Under the Seven of Manifestations, we have the Four of Swords. So it is time to allow proper healing and rest. And again, as you're, you know, feeling this stretched, you're going to think something's wrong with you. Like you have a cold or a virus. Well, I guess a cold is a virus, or like a, you know, sinus infection, something like along those lines, where you just feel like crap and you're like, what is going on? It's because your vibration is rising and you're purging lower energies, and some of this you're very aware of, and you know that it must fall away so that you can fully rest, recharge, and rejuvenate yourself to receive these new activations. Now we have the Queen of Pentacles coming through. So some of you could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but this is just talking about the stability and solidity and strength of the star seed that's receiving these activations, you know, through the Ace of Lessons and the Ace of Intuition. It's in the Queen of Pentacles, she is earth energy. So after you have this major, like, you know, expansion into these higher frequencies, you pull that energy down into the earth plane, and you learn how to better harness your energies and direct them, and you're manifesting things like magic, almost like you think it and boom, it comes to you. Like, that's the level that you guys are headed. All right, next is the Three of Cups under the Two of Activations, and this is a lot of celebration and happiness. You know, after you feel better, after the purge, after you've expanded, it's all finished, you are happy, you are celebrating. It's like you see the world with brand new eyes. And for many of you, for this particular reading, I feel you guys resonate with like witchcraft, white magic, things like that. And like you have some companions in that with you. And now look at this, we have the King of Pentacles. So you have the King and Queen, and this is coming out under the Creator. So this to me is significant of, like, you know, here you are, and then this beautiful shift into this higher energy, this very empowered energy, you know, through the King, through the masculine, and that's like where your end destination. So major activation taking place in the third eye, and remembrance of old gifts, spiritual gifts that you've mastered, and lifetime, a journey before this one, and you're awakening to it. Big purge, big healing coming in, and you know, there's like no stopping you. Okay, let's pull a few cards to look at this, you know, specifically from your spirit's perspective. And, you know, maybe we'll get some more information about these activations. Triggers. So we're moving beyond the things that really set us off. Next is crystals. Reiki and crystal healing, very important for you, especially through this activation and ascension process that some of you are experiencing. It might be really intense. Crystals will help ground you. The Akashic Librarian. So this is about past life energy, and you know, we already see that coming through as an activation. But some of you, you know, through this third eye activation, you may now be able to really tap into the Akashic record of others. And even if you have been able to in the past, like, you have much more access. Like, this is the rites of passage. You've earned the rites of passage to explore your Akashic and to explore the Akashic of others. Love lessons. Okay, so a lot of you have gone through some love lessons, and those were not easy to deal with. That's what this purge is about. So, you know, people that you really care about may have let you down, and they had to teach you certain lessons, you know, for your journey. But, you know, even though some of those hurt, it's part of this activation process, and you're going to heal and really overcome them. And lastly, we have a spiritual business. So part of you know, this activation and this awakening and this shifting of your vibration is because you're meant to have a spiritually based business. You know, whatever your gift is, you're meant to earn income from, you know, using it and sharing it with others. And, you know, maybe some of you have been kind of thinking about it, and this is your confirmation. Some of you maybe have never really thought about it, and this is your team saying, no, you are meant to have a business to share information to help and heal others this life journey. And that's why you're having these activations right now and going to a higher dimension, is so that you can perform that job, you know, to the very best of your ability. And, you know, those of you who are already having a spiritually based practice of some kind, there's something that you're going to add to it, either becoming like this past life reader, healer, past life regression, you know, Reiki master, learning about crystals, healing with crystals, something along those lines. So very nice. All right, let's pull you guys some advice. Blue flame, connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you. Yeah, you guys are expanding, and that's that heart chakra healing through the purge. And you see that, the blue flame. Next is vision. Trust in your ability to create the vision in your soul. And there you go. That's going back to that manifestational ability, where it's like you think it and boom, it happens. And next we have stillness. Reflect on this moment with love, kindness, and compassion. And this is about, you know, the healing and activation to the heart chakra, and, you know, different relationships that hurt you. There was a wealth of soul information that you've gained, and you're going to come into that understanding, and you're going to heal, and none of that's going to hurt you anymore. All right, so those are your messages from the Blue Messiah deck. I am sending you guys lots of love and light. Take care. Hi there. So let's see what Sacred Spirit Oracle has to bring you from your collective, what they want to tell you, what they have to say. Ascended Masters, create open communication. So for you guys, I feel realms even above, like higher and beyond your collective, are trying to come in and work with you and communicate with you, especially the archangels. And create open communication. So this coming out is your collective is saying that you've got to make more of an active effort to open your crown chakra to receive messages. And when your mind is really busy or you're just really distracted, you know, with the everyday details of life, it's hard to channel, it's hard to receive this information. And so your collective is telling you they want you to spend more time in trying to like center and ground and balance your energy and open up your crown chakra to receive some messages from very high. And you have to be in a super even frequency. It's hard for me to even explain this, for this to fully be received. Emotional challenges, resolve the issue. Okay, so the first two readings, we're talking about the heart chakra, and you guys are not the exception. Your collective also talking about your heart chakra and just the different relationships and challenges that you've been through through your connections. And it's time to see things from a much different perspective. I actually did a reading for you guys last week, the soul bonds versus the chemical and material attraction. And so those of you that were attracted to the sacred spirit, you've really been affected by those chemical material attractions, and it may have like distorted your own energy and your own views a bit. And that's why your collective is saying, let's really balance your energy, work on healing the heart chakra, expanding the crown chakra, so you can receive that light from the Most High, because you guys need that. Next out is sacred divinity. There are two paths ahead. This means that the divine feminine and the divine masculine within you is a bit distorted and out of balance. So that would go down to the sacral and the solar plexus chakra. And again, back to a lot of relationship issues. So you guys attracted to sacred spirit, relationships have just jacked you up inside, your emotions, your perception, and has maybe jaded you and really confused you. And you've got to remember that chemical material attraction is a construct of this system. It is very powerful. It is very alluring. It confuses the best of us. Trust me on that. And so your collective wanting to help you really differentiate between those chemical attractions and the true soul bonds, because they wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't intense enough on both sides to create great confusion. And the chemical connections are only to pull your energy down, keep you asleep, prevent you from your mission, from fully shining your light, all the things you're meant to do, and it cuts you off from the love and the light of the Most High. And I'm not talking about Prime Creator, that it's like these other beings that I'm feeling, and it's almost like they're outside of like all of this, like Earth and where you come from and where other star seeds come from. Like they're outside of that somehow, some way, and they try to communicate with you. You have like this contract with them. So the soul work that you have done, like in different incarnations and like in the non-physical, is you guys are masters. Like I thought the second reading was kind of intense for the beings, but you guys are a whole nother level of that. And with the ascended masters, like they're trying to help you and assist you, but these chemical attractions, they really jack you up. And some of you could also suffer like maybe overeating, or you know, being addicted to sugar or a substance, or smoking cigarettes. Okay, it's like those type of energies are like try to attract to you to keep you down. And your collective wants you to become more aware of like the true soul bonds, the true energy, opposed to those chemical distortions of confusion. Ooh, yeah, big message of that. Okay, let's pull some tarot and go a bit deeper into this. So we have the lessons totem, yeah. The lessons totem is trying to, so there's a spirit animal in your life that's trying to help you understand the message that I've already just brought through. Next is the 10 of lessons, and this right here is the most challenging card along with the lessons mentor in this deck. So these different relationships and connections have taught you more than you would have ever learned otherwise, as painful and challenging as they are. And now that you are at the end of this cycle, it's time for you to really see the difference between chemical and true soul bond, and also come into you know, through all the lessons, for that to transform into wisdom within you and you to really rise high. You see how the opening up there, that's the light, the messages from the Most High, those beings that I'm feeling. Like, they're not your collective, they're not. But you have like this contract with them because of other work that you've done. And it's just like you are super amazing, and they want to help you understand that more and see who you truly are. Next is, wow, and now you guys got the 10 of activations popping out. And you know, if you see, she's holding her head up, like there's no neck there. She's holding her head up and she's way up high, and this only happens after a long journey, a lot of life lessons, spiritual evolution. So you've got 2 10s, the hardest card of the deck, and then this one is not easy either. And I know this has been playing out through a lot of different relationships and connections, you know, throughout your life. And that's purple. There's a lot of purple here. That's the crown chakra. And look at, you've got the purple going on up here as well. Next is the Ace of Intuition. So you are having an activation, yay, and the 6 of Intuition. So this tells me that these chemical connections really trip you up, they confuse you, and they have you you know, stuck in the past a lot. And your team, I'm telling you, coming in so strong, all this purple, like to open your crown chakra, activate your third eye even more than it already is, so that you can really differentiate between the true soul bond versus the chemical connection in your life. And again, remember, the chemical connections are a construct of the system to keep you, you know, broken down, to keep you confused, to keep you very distracted with emotions that only create, you know, unsavory experiences that you don't want anyways. And your collective coming in really strong, saying you have done the work, you've learned all that you could possibly learn and gain through chemical connection relationships, and it's time for you to now really see the difference of it. You've got an animal spirit, an animal totem coming in the physical to help you with that. So any repeating animal, look up the deeper spiritual meaning behind it, because you have these beings, and I'm telling you, this is not even really your collective that it has the floor here. It's these other beings that are like outside of all of this. And even though you come from this place and that's where you are attached to, it's like this is who you're dealing with for this journey, for what you're meant to do. A lot of work, a lot of exposing, really changing belief systems, tearing down old paradigms. But man, those chemical connections, that's what gets you. That's your kryptonite. You know, that's a perfect way to explain those energies and how they affect you. All right, let's pull some tarot and, you know, clarify a little further. Knight of Swords. So all the truth and clarity you need is going to start coming into play. And again, really focus on grounding your energy and not being distracted by, you know, anxious thoughts, worried thoughts, different emotions that swirl around within you. Really ground your energy, go into meditation, open your crown, and oh, just what comes to you out of this world. Six of Swords. Yep, it is time to start moving on from these heavy experiences that you've been going through. There's nothing else you could possibly learn or gain from them. Seven of Swords. So that's coming out under the 10 of activations. You have been lied to, you have been betrayed, you've been used, you've been stepped on. It breaks your heart. You don't understand. You're like, if I'm this being, why is this happening to me? It's happening to you because it's a construct of the system, of the shadow energy, to keep you distracted from what you're really here to do. Next is the Ace of Swords, coming out under the Ace of Intuition. There you go. You are going to break free from all of this. You are going to receive those messages from these beings, and it's going to activate you. It's going to make things much more clear for you. You also have Archangel Michael coming in with that Ace of Swords, where he says, I will show you the ultimate truth if you are ready to receive it, and I will protect you from the construct of the system if you call upon me. So he's coming in to help with the third eye, the awareness, the protection, and like the breakthrough. Under the Six of Intuition, we have the Lovers. So, you know, I'm just going to say it, and I'm sorry if you don't like this message, but this is where many of you have confused a chemical attraction as like a soulmate or a twin flame, and it's not, because, you know, I know there's a lot of spiritual and life lessons that play out in like the twin flame journey, but for you guys, the kind of romantic connection you're meant to have is not that of one that hurts you, lies to you, betrays you, takes advantage of you. You're not meant for that experience. Your vibration is a lot different. And so those type of experiences you've had, again, that's a construct of the system to keep you confused, like a defense mechanism of the system against you. And the more you become aware of that, the more you will see the difference of the chemical connection versus the soul bond, because again, they tried to mimic that soul bond energy, and you get confused. And true soul bond, you know, I feel like that blue flame love for you guys, that is a connection of utter love and support, where you both have like this spiritual mission. So, you know, the relationships in your life, and it doesn't just have to be romantic, that have really hurt you, used you, lied to you, it's a chemical connection. It is not that soul bonds, twin flame energy. It's not. It is there to confuse you. And Archangel Michael, as well as these other beings, really want you to see that, because I feel that's your biggest hindrance. Receiving the light, and it really distorts you and your perception. It throws you off your game, and that's why, you know, it's happened so frequently. But also, you know, through that process, the reason why this went on for the length of time that it has is because there was a lot for you to gain and learn through those different chemical connections, and that's where you gain that experience, where now as you rise, you connect to these higher beings, you are able to see the difference. Okay. And I do feel like they want you to know, like, you are meant for blue flame love. And again, that's very supportive. It's honoring. It's respectful. It's not to say that you guys always get along and things like that, but the relationship, you're not going to lie to each other. You're not going to stab each other in the back. It's spiritually based. Okay. It's a very spiritually based connection, not chemical. So that's so strong in here. And look at, you've got nothing but swords, and then this Lovers. So it's really distorted you in the mental body, really confused you, got your thoughts kind of going in a repetitive loop, which then keeps the emotional body very out of balance and in a state of like chaos. And that's why these beings are coming in so strong now, to bring you the messages that you need to help you see the difference. And then you rise up. You have this activation coming to the third eye. And I don't feel like you need an activation to your crown. I feel like you need to open it and really ground your energy so you can receive the messages. All right, let's pull some more cards. And I am sorry about that. I hate saying that, you know, when somebody's like, no, this is my twin flame, my one, and I do a reading and it's like saying the opposite all the way through. They hate me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't lie to you, but I'll tell you what, they always come back later and they're like, you were right, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm not giving you another reading, sorry. All right, so we have triggers. Yeah, see that? Those chemical connections, what they do to you. And this, again, doesn't just have to be relationship. This could play out in different substances as well. It's what keeps you locked into, that 3D paradigm. And these beings want to pull you up out and remind you of who and what you truly are. Galactic family. So here's your collective finally coming in, and they say we concur with these beings and all that they're saying. And the more that you expand that crown chakra, the more that your galactic family can also communicate with you and guide you. And look at, there's the activation. Yes, yes. And that's here with that Ace of Intuition as well as the Ace of Swords. And I'm telling you, once you notice the difference and the healing process begins, you move on. You're not meant to have these heavy experiences anymore. You're being activated beyond all of that. And again, the crown chakra really opening it up. Cosmic timing. It is time. And lastly, astrology. Okay, so this right here would be your collective wanting you to look and dig deeper into your natal chart and learn much more about your astrology. And, I've recommended this book before, The Light of Egypt. It is fascinating, and it talks about astrology from a much different perspective, from a lot of the stuff that's around today. And so for you guys, it's time to learn about astrology from a different perspective, maybe some old school, old sorcerers and things like that, their belief systems. Open yourself up to, different ideas around astrology, because once you truly know your natal chart, a lot's going to make sense to you. And also with this card, many of you are meant to be astrologists. Okay, so know that. Let's pull you some advice. Vision, trust in your ability to create the vision in your soul. And this is those much more loving and supportive connections, true soul bonds. Inner alchemy. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react, when you react to fear with love, sorry. And this is, again, trying to help balance out your energy where the system doesn't have such a hold on you and create this distortion. Next is Earth Guide. Your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and to be loved. So a confirmation of your mission as a starseed, and your collective coming in, Archangel Michael coming in, as well as these other beings to help you come into understanding and see what triggers you, why it's happening, why it's there, and help you evolve beyond it, because those experiences are not meant for your journey ahead. All right, so those are your messages. I am sending you guys lots of love and light. Take care. Hello there. So let's get right into your reading with the Work Your Light cards and see what your collective has to say. I'm just going to leave it completely open for whatever they wish to discuss with you. Get grounded, empath. Highly sensitive, connect with nature. So first message out is your collective wants you to spend more time in meditation or grounding your energy. And if you're anything like me, that is so hard to do in my waking hours, to say, okay, I'm going to allot an hour to meditation. My mind is just too busy. So for me, I do those type of meditations as I'm falling asleep and while I'm sleeping. And there's a ton of videos on YouTube to help you with that. And I have found it is just as effective for me. So first message out is because you're empaths and you're very sensitive, you need to make sure that your energy is grounded every single day, or it's very easy for you to start feeling distorted and overextended. Next, we have awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So this is a perfect message as Saturn has just entered Aquarius, and we just had the 444 portal, and we are in the Great Awakening over the next 3 years. And then the 3 years that follows that is when everything is really going to be torn down, and we're coming into a new way of being, you know, as a human species, and just, you know, a lot of changes. You guys are a part of this great awakening. I'm not surprised to see that for you guys, but expect to be having a lot of energetic upgrades throughout 2020, mainly around those eclipses. So look up when all the eclipses are this year. And Saturn just moved into Aquarius, and then Saturn will retrograde back into Capricorn May through September, and then move back into Aquarius by the end of December. So right here, between now and that time when Saturn moves back into Aquarius, you are having powerful upgrades, which you're going to feel it physically, you're going to feel it mentally, you're going to feel it emotionally. You're going to notice your belief system is really shifting and being tested, and that's because you are, you know, going into I want to say like you're breaking out of a mold, really, like breaking completely out of a mold, and you are this new being, this new version of yourself. And this doesn't feel like dark night of the soul energy to me. This is, you know, there could be some shadow work involved, but this feels more like you just need to ground your energies and spend more time in meditation and connecting with your collective as you go through these different upgrades, this awakening process throughout 2020. Now we have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Ooh, Spirit really waking you up as we move through 2020 all the way to around March 2023. You are highly instrumental in anchoring down the, you know, Aquarian light codes to firmly solidify the Aquarian age, because that's where we're at now, and there's just a lot of old paradigms still firmly anchored into the earth plane, and you can't rip them up. All right, they're always going to be there, but the less and less energy that's given to them, they like fizzle out. All right, and you guys are here to collect those new light codes so that more and more attention and energy is given to the new light codes, the Aquarian age, and the Pisces age can finally completely fizzle out. So you've got to answer the call. You are highly instrumental in this process, especially over these next 3 years and throughout 2020. You are being prepared on many different levels, and you're going to have upgrades and awakenings. You may experience some of these awakenings in a physical sense where you don't feel good, and I'll tell you, I've been to the doctor several times like with bad symptoms that are lingering for like a week, and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you, like your blood count, you're not fighting off any sort of infection, nothing, like nothing is wrong with you. And I'm like, then why do I feel so bad? So I'm embarrassed and I leave. And you know, no matter what, when I'm feeling bad, I'm gonna go just to, you know, take care of my health and make sure there's not something else going on. I can usually, like, I have a feeling inside, but you know, my paranoia gets the better of me sometimes. But you guys, you're gonna go through that, and I recommend always go to the doctor just to make sure. But if they're like, nothing is wrong with you, don't freak out and think, okay, they're just misdiagnosing me, they're missing it. No, you're having major upgrades, activations throughout 2020, and it's highly imperative that you ground your energies on the daily because of that, just all the energy that you're receiving. And some of these frequencies are a bit out of phase from you and where you vibrate, and it's like as you know, they're being projected to you, you naturally like start vibrating to align to that, and it's not an easy process. It takes a lot of energy out of you, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it. So that is the forecast, I'm sorry to say, but it's for a bigger purpose that's to come throughout, you know, 2021, 2022, and then into March 2023. Big time preparation throughout 2020 for you guys. Let's pull some tarot. The light worker, yes, see, you are meant to receive those light codes, anchor them down, and then project them outwardly, and here you are. Lessons healer, so this is also a time of healing and like awakening, where it's more of like a breakthrough, a big epiphany, connecting the dots, different things you've been going through, what they were really trying to shape you into, teach you, all of those things. You're coming into all of that understanding, and there's also a deep healing coming over you, and this could be from your collective, this could be from the archangels, or this could be somebody that is going to enter your life, and just the conversations you share with each other, what they say makes a lot of sense to you and allows you to connect the dots for your own life and your own journey. And so profound healing coming in for you. Two of manifestations. The old you is fading away because you are coming into a new version, again, like breaking that mold, and this is just a confirmation of that right there. Next is intuition, spirit guide. Ooh, really trust your intuition, your intuitive promptings. There could also be some activations going on with your third eye, with this guy coming out here, but you have a spirit guide hanging around you all through 2020, helping you with these upgrades, these activations, any shadow work or purging that needs to take place, helping you anchor these light codes in to the earth plane very strongly, part of the healing process for you. So you do have a spirit guide working on activating your third eye and strengthening your intuition throughout 2020. And now we have the energy balance. Yes, see, you are preparing for what is up ahead, what is to come. And that is, you know, these new light codes coming in, because there's a big distortion from the shadow to the light right now. And, you know, you receiving these light codes is creating that balance that needs to come back into the earth plane, you know, where free will is not being manipulated through subconscious, through various waves of energy, all of that stuff, you know. It's where everybody is aware of it, aware of the physical, but aware of the energy and how it's, you know, one and the same in the earth plane, like they work together, coincide together. And this is part of your work, is restoring that balance and bringing that truth to the free will, like freeing the subconscious mind. Wow. So there you go. And you have a spirit guide that's helping you with this the whole way through. Okay, let's pull some tarot and clarify these energies a bit further. And you know, the only minor card that you have right here is this, and that's talking about you breaking out of that mold, the old you, like fading away, like the old Piscean energy codes and of the Piscean age fading away. Like that's the only thing in the minor. Otherwise, you have a healer, a spirit guide talking, and then here is talking about your work through two major arcana cards. So wow. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords coming in at the light worker, and this tells me that you have a lot of wisdom and information that you're going to share that's going to awaken many sleeping minds. You have a big job. Next is the Star coming out on the Lessons Healer, so that just talks about the incredible healing and understanding that is being poured upon you from the heavens, you know, as well as your galactic family helping you understand. And some of you, this Lessons Healer could be an Aquarius. And now we have the Death card. Look at that, sits on the Two of Manifestations. The old you dying and fading away. The Piscean age finally dying and fading away, so that the Aquarian age can properly dawn upon humanity as it's intended to, you know, just for where we're at in our cycle of time. And, you know, the point of evolution of humanity. And now we have the Two of Wands, this intuition spirit guide, really helping you out. It's, you know, third eye intuition, but there is another aspect to this. And, you know, this other activation is going to be different for each and every one of you. You could count on the third eye receiving an activation and upgrade, and as well as another one of your chakras. And I feel that other chakra is different for each of you, but the third eye is for all of you. And now we have the Page of Cups, and again, ushering in the new light codes, the age of Aquarius, and it's a much different energy than what we've been dealing with through the age of Pisces. Okay, let's pull some more cards to look at your soul evolution and your spiritual growth through all of this. Cosmic timing. It is time. Yes, it is time. And you are being prepared all through 2020. Spiritual lessons. Protected. The empath. And look at, so you've got the empath coming through twice. You are very sensitive to other people, their energies, their emotions, their thoughts, as well as artificially created waves, all right? And, you know, just energy in general. You are very, very sensitive. So important to ground that energy and get Reiki on the regular if you can. And now we have a personal mission coming through as well. Okay. So you guys have a full plate for this life journey, because not only are you here to really awaken humanity and anchor in the new light codes, you also have a lot of personal work that you're doing for your own soul evolution, and that probably comes into play into that second chakra that's receiving an activation and upgrade. That has more to do with your own soul evolution, your own personal journey outside of, you know, the mission of being a light worker and what that entails for you. There is another area where you're experiencing and growing your own soul, a big time evolution, because we do have spiritual lessons here as well. But in all that you do, you are always protected. Know that, okay? So let's pull you some advice. You know, and also, I feel like you help a lot of people through their spiritual lessons, dark night of the soul, shadow type work. Creation, being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. Ooh, and this comes through as you break out of this mold. There's just like this whole new level to you that you've never known. Free spirit. To be free, to be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. And lastly, patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. Yes, and this is coming through just because I know many of you, 2020 is filled with a lot of activations and upgrades, which that's challenging enough on its own for your, you know, starseed work. And then you're also working on some things for yourself, for your own soul growth. And so you have a very full plate for this journey, but you can handle it, no question. So those are your messages. I am sending you guys lots of love and light. Take care. Hello there. So let's get right into your reading with the White Light Oracle and see what your collective has to say. I'm just going to leave it completely open to whatever messages they wish to share with you at this time. Okay, so we have the Oracle of Chaldea, and you know, this is an energy where you've really got to follow your heart, summoning the spiritual fortitude to persevere, to succeed. It's all within you, all right? There is a very sacred energy that exists within you, and your collective is saying summons the spirit, the sacred from within, and there is much answers. And this could also be talking about how you may have kind of disconnected from yourself a bit, your intuition, your inner guidance, and now your collective is asking you to remember the sacred within and summons that energy from the very depth of you, and you will find strength, you will find answers, you will have everything you need to push forward, to prevail, to succeed, to overcome. It's like it's all within you. So they're really wanting to remind you of your strength as well as your sacred divinity. Next we have, look, the Lion's Gate. And this is the last card of the deck, and this is talking about connecting to the higher realms and turning negative energy into positive. So many of you are big time receptacles of all the new light codes being bombarded at this time. We just had, because look, this is card 44, and I was about to say we just had the 444 portal. I did a reading about that. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out, just because it's showing up in your personal messages from your collective. The 444 portal is quite effective and potent for you, as well as, you know, the portal that comes in August, 8/8, Lion's Gate. These two portals, big time activation, upgrade happening. You're receiving a lot of light codes, okay, through each of these portals. So during the portal time, you may find your energy is just really out of whack, all right? And that's why that's showing up. But it's because of the major activation that's happening within you and all of the light codes and energies that you're receiving, and you're trying to process and properly anchor into the earth plane. And next we have Perfume of Sophia. You will truly always find your way. I promise you. You know, this is also about like sensing divine timing, but I think, sorry, I'm getting like all mixed up in what I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to say like 5 things at one time. All right. These portals, 4444, and then the Lion's Gate in August. Very potent. They affect you. They make you maybe not feel good. They make you feel anxious because just the energy, it's such a vast upgrade to what you're used to dealing with. It takes some time for you to receive those energies and properly balance them. And some of you could actually, you know, physically get ill, you know, feel like you have a cold or a flu, something along those lines, a lot of ringing in your ears, a lot of like upset stomach and just not a good time, you know, in the intestinal tract. And, you know, through those processes, it also really tests and stretches your current belief system, because there's elements of it that now need to shatter and fall away. They served you up to this point believing this one particular thing, and it's now time for that to shatter, fall away, for you to come into a whole new understanding. So these two portals, these gateways, incredibly potent for you. It makes you feel like you have kind of lost your way, or your intuition doesn't feel right, your spiritual gifts, like you just feel very out of balance, very distorted. And even in that space, your collective wants you to know you will always find the way. You will always perfectly align to what you need to at the perfect time. You have this uncanny ability to detect divine timing like nobody else, okay? So let's pull some tarot. Seven of Manifestations. This means there is something that you purge through each one of these portals, these gateways, and that's not an easy process. And again, this is how like certain belief systems shatter away. There's certain like relationships, situations, circumstances that will also shatter and fall away, because they're not meant to keep on moving forward with you. You're meant to rise to another level, and whatever this is, it can't rise to that level with you. And so there is some element of purge, release, letting go that some of you go through, and you know that's not fun, I know. Next is, oh yeah, because look at what this is, a paradigm shift. And this is talking about all the major changes within you. This is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually through these two portals, the one in April and then the one in August. It's really changing you. But again, you guys are quite instrumental in really anchoring down the Aquarian age energies, those light codes to shift the consciousness of humanity. And there's a great manipulation of free will, being attacked at the subconscious mind. Many of you are aware of that. And you are here to, counteract that, to restore the balance, to remind people of their free will, to free their consciousness, their subconscious, help them rewrite their subconscious beliefs. So here you are, and you go through it before you can help anybody through it or teach them how. It's all for purpose, though. And that's 7, that's 16. So we got 7 and 7. That's a number of a lot of growth. Now we have the energy balance, and this is exactly what I was just saying, like how you are here to restore that balance, to help people remember their free will and to see how it's manipulated in various ways through different technologies, entertainment, etc., etc., etc. You are very aware of this, and you are making things much more transparent for others. But as you receive and anchor in these new light codes, you balance out the energy, the distortion between the light and the dark. So again, you are quite instrumental in bringing in the Aquarian age fully, like really anchoring it into the earth plane. And now we have the soul. Ooh, look at that. Look at you. You are something special. You are unique. You are one of a kind. You come from, you all resonate with certain collectives like Pleiadians, Syrians, all of that. But what I feel with this is you guys come from a place that I don't think we are aware of or that we talk about, but you are aware of it, and you might have a name for it, or you align to like Pleiadians or different collective because that feels closest to your home frequency. But yeah, you guys are something out of this world, truly, 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 with this card. And you are the epitome of Aquarian energy, ahead of its time, unique, way out there, the unexpected. That's you, and what you bring to this earth plane is special, unique. Very few of you, I feel, are here at this time, just because of that. And now we have the 9 of activations. So this is just letting me know that through these portals, it's a very intense time for you. There's a lot of changes that take place within you, through each portal. And your collective is just confirming that. Remember, you are something very special. And as you evolve and you move into higher frequencies coinciding with your mission on the earth plane, that also means major changes have to take place in you, because you can't be, this vibration and fit into this vibration up here. It's a process, a journey, and these portals are instrumental in that for you specifically. And so just remember when those waves of not feeling good, weird thoughts, depression that just comes out of nowhere, it's because you're adjusting to the energies, the light codes that you're receiving because of these portals. And this year, I feel, is a year of major activation for you guys, like just a lot going on. So not just the portals, but also the eclipses that are playing out throughout 2020. All right, let's pull some tarot to further clarify these cards here. Okay, what must be purged is a lot of emotional baggage of, different things that have happened, didn't happen, different relationships, all of that. your collective coming in to really try to help heal with this, because again, you are transitioning upward, and these energies are not compatible with where you're going. So your collective really trying to help you heal. Under paradigm shift, we have the Fool, which would be, you know, this card here, the Soul in this tarot deck, but you've got the Fool coming out under paradigm shift. So it's a whole new world for you. Just everything that's shifting and changing, the different beliefs falling away, the different relationships, circumstances that fall away. It's really leveraging you much higher, and you're going to understand that, and you're going to be grateful for that, you know, when you are standing on top of the mountain. Next is the World under energy balance. And so to me, this is talking about you and your mission here on Mother Earth Gaia, and bringing in the balance, restoring the choice of free will, you know, awakening people to the truth of the system, and just the way everything is. Like, you guys know it, you see it, and you awaken the whole world. Like, you are very instrumental in bringing in the Aquarian age, 100%. Under the Soul, we have the Knight of Staves, and you know, this is Wands energy, fire, which is your soul, the ethers, and this is you coming to this place, this land, with a frequency that is foreign, that doesn't necessarily belong, but needs to be here, and now needs to become a choice for all. Okay. And we have the Hierophant. So over all of your activations, your upgrades, everything that's taking place, there is definitely a higher order, like the Council of Light coming through, the Hierophant that is with you, that protects you. All is well. And again, no matter what, you will always find your way, and it will always be at the perfect divine time. Okay, let's look at things from the soul level, and you know, how these upgrades and activations may be impacting you in that space. Rebirth, and that's the portals. You're becoming somebody new. The Healer, you are a profound healer. You need to know that. If you don't currently, you know, work with healing, and this could be Reiki, you could be a nurse. I mean, being a healer entails so many different things. It's time to recognize this aspect of who and what you are. And there's magic about you. You could be a healer with your words, with your energy, with crystals. You know, again, it's endless, but they want you to know that. Now look at this download. These portals bring major downloads for you, creating the energy shift that's needed so that you can help restore the balance between the light and the dark, and you will move into a period of prosperity. Okay, so that's good to see here at the end. And also, I like the butterfly. That's transformation, that's transition. We're talking about rebirth, and there's just some darker energies that you have to shed. Again, this is not dark night of the soul. This is where there's just certain things in your heart from different relationships and experiences that now need to be healed and shed so that you can rise in frequency, because you're meant to be a healer. You're receiving a lot of downloads throughout the year, but these portals are big time energy shifts, and you feel it more than I think any of the other starseeds do, especially since you come from a very mysterious place. And I don't feel that there are very many of you guys compared to some of the other starseeds that are walking around on the earth plane. You know, there's something very special and unique about you guys, and you know, what you do affects the whole world. Okay, as crazy as that may seem, it's all energy, and you're coming into those understandings more and more. And remember, certain belief systems that have comforted you or got you to this point are going to be really tested. They're going to shatter, and they're going to fall away, because it's time for you to go to the next level, a much greater, more broad understanding of things. Okay, let's pull you some advice. But you're bringing this period of prosperity to, you know, humanity. And also because of all your work, I feel like 2020, there's a lot going on for you, but at the end of 2020, once Saturn moves back into Aquarius, the next 2 years are a period of prosperity for you because you're prepared, you know what's up. Celebration, celebrate your achievements. You are truly a gift to the universe. Need I say more? Yes, you are. Meditation, take a moment to connect to source through quiet reflective meditation, especially during these portals and the eclipses. It's an intense time for you. And free spirit, to be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. And that's what you are teaching humanity to do and to be. So those are your messages. I am sending you all lots of love and light. Take care. Hi there. Let's get right into your reading with the Starseed Oracle and see what your collective wishes to tell you at this time. And I'm just leaving it open for whatever it is that they want to discuss or bring through. All right, so they definitely wanted to bring those through. Okay, what do we have? Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. Okay, so much like all of the other reads, you guys are the very last one. I feel there is some heart chakra healing that your collective is trying to offer or direct you towards, especially with that. Now we have the void. Stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. Ooh, you are in the cosmic womb right now, dear Starseed. And finally, lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Ooh, okay. So for you guys, big strong message of heart healing, because look what would be very next. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. This being the message, it is time for a deep, deep heart healing, Starseeds, and your collective wants to help with that. And you've got to understand that sometimes really painful things must happen to us because that's the only way that we get cracked open. And when we are cracked open, the light comes in. Light codes that we have been unable to receive can come in, and you shed the old version of yourself and you transform into something else. All right. And right now, you know, you see her all in the water, the great cosmic womb. Why? Because the veil is coming down in some capacity for you guys. And the process in which all of this happens, there is a point where you had to be cracked open, and your collective is addressing that and acknowledging that and saying, it was part of the journey. It's part of your process. And, you know, you do not need to have guilt or shame or remorse or think yourself small or wish that you could have done something different or said something different or been something different or not just be who you are entirely. Your collective is like, no, you are a very sacred being. You have a sacred mission for this life journey here on the earth plane at this time. You've signed up for this, and unfortunately, to you know, successfully complete your mission to its highest potential, there's things that you have to go through, different transformations you have to experience, you know, to be successful, because you can't come in knowing it all, being completely awake and activated. The energies are far too incompatible from where you come from, the, you know, primary frequency and vibration of your soul opposed to the density of the earth plane. You, like everybody else, there is this sense of amnesia that takes place. And again, it's about the incompatibility of frequencies. And in order to really awaken and come into your wisdom and your sacred divinity and who and what you are, you have to go through processes that peel all the layers back for you, okay? And that's what you've been going through, the layers peeling back, really heavy, hard truths coming to light. Some of you in your own personal life, others of you waking up to different truths of like the world at large, the collective, the system, the beings in control. I know for myself personally, I am taking a break from all of that rabbit hole stuff for a while, because it does really get to me and make me feel like, well, what's the point in anything? Like, I'm just one person. And it makes me really lose sight, and it hardens my heart. And so you guys, I see that here. And again, it could be information of, you know, what's going on in reality, as well as different circumstances and relationships going on in your life. And just remember, when you're in that, you are in the cosmic womb, and it's because all these layers need to just be peeled back to get down to the base, the core. And that's where the veil lifts, and you see the truth of all things, the kind of truth that you receive through the crown chakra, but you would have no way of articulating it, explaining it to another person, but you just get it, you know, you understand, and that's where you're at. So let's pull some tarot and take a deeper look at all of this. Past life portal. So a lot of your higher frequency energy, your spiritual knowing, all of those things, it's going to start trickling through for you as, you know, you're cracked open and the veil lifts. Because remember, the energies aren't compatible when you first show up. You being here along with a lot of other light workers anchoring in these new light codes, these higher frequencies of energy, allows you to expand into those energies in big ways. You're always a few steps ahead, but here is letting you know that your divinity, your spiritual power and strength and knowing is going to be fully known to you. And we see that there with the veil. Cosmic consciousness, major activation to the third eye as well as the crown chakra. You guys are going into higher realms of knowing and understanding, and that's why I felt like the information that you receive, you don't quite know how to articulate it, at least not for a while. There will come a point where you do, but initially you understand things, but you don't know how to share them with others. You're being given access to some big time secrets. The veil lifting much more for you guys than for some others. Four of intuition. And now this is where you may be very stubborn, jaded, kind of hardening your heart because of different things that you have gone through personally, different things you see going on in the world. And it's like you just want to fold your arms, close your eyes, and tune it all out. And again, I understand that, but you don't want to be in this energy, because in this energy, a lot of things pass you by, and what didn't work out for you personally, you know, is for your highest good, and eventually you'll come into that understanding. Oh goodness, hold on, let me grab that. I have like my chair on carpet, so it doesn't just slide easily. Okay. Next is Lessons Spirit Guide. So you definitely have your collective coming in strong to help you understand, so that you don't become weary, and bring in this major heart healing at the heart chakra, just because I do feel like this void, and then, you know, being closed up, like many of you have kind of started going into yourself because it's like too much, it hurts too much, or you feel so small, you don't understand, and your collective coming in strong, and you have a spirit guide walking all the way through with you through this process. Like, you're having a great awakening for sure. And now we have the Two of Lessons. Okay, with the Two of Lessons, what that energy is about is where the same thing keeps repeating in your life, in your reality, somehow, some way. And the reason for that is because there's some aspect about the lesson that you've been unable to learn or incorporate or fully receive. And you have this lessons spirit guide coming in to help you with this process. And the problem, I feel, is because you're kind of going into that energy, like I expressed about myself, of becoming very overwhelmed, the weight of the world being on you, like what could I even do, you know, and then, you know, you could go into thoughts of, oh, I'm just stupid, I'm not a star seed, I'm not this, I'm not that, you know, it's just a spiral. And I kind of feel like that keeps happening when the truth is the layers are being peeled back. You're being cracked open so that you can have that full access, the veil completely lifting for you. But this lesson, whatever it is for you personally, must be fully learned and incorporated before that veil can fully be lifted. And you come into that cosmic consciousness, just that vast, bigger understanding. You are in the cosmic womb right now, being prepared, being shifted and shaped, a great awakening happening within you. And you could be awake, but this is like you're going to a whole nother level because the veil is being lifted, and a lot that you don't remember that has been kept from you is now going to start coming to the surface through this past life portal energy. All right, let's pull some clarifiers. We did have one jump, the Eight of Swords, and this is coming out for the past life portal. So see, you have been very blinded to your true divinity and all the gifts and wisdom and secrets of the universe that exist within you. But this process, you know, being cracked open, it's to open up this access so you're no longer restricted to all of that information. Cosmic consciousness, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So some of you could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but ultimately this is talking about the wisdom, the higher light that you are receiving, that you understand. You're going to eventually figure out a way to express that, to share that, to articulate that with others. And you are making a major change in the earth plane. Under the Four of Intuition, we have the Hermit, and this is also talking about being in the cosmic womb, a great awakening to your soul wisdom, to your divinity. Under the Lesson Spirit Guide, we have the Chariot, and this is to this Spirit Guide coming in strong right now to ensure that you finally receive this lesson and lead you into ultimate victory and freedom, so the veil can fully be lifted. And now we have the Three of Pentacles under clarifying this Two of Lessons, and that tells me this spirit guide, okay, your spirit guide and your collective consciousness are helping you. There's three there, the Trinity, helping you with this final lesson so that you can be freed of the heartache, of the pain, of the restriction, of feeling, you know, blind, confused. And why is this happening to me? You know, there's unfortunately nothing else can crack us open other than great emotional pain. And that's the facilitator. That's what starts everything, the cascade of great awakenings. And I don't like it any more than you do. I wish that it could be handled a different way, but that's just the way it is, at least, you know, on this earth plane. And your collective doesn't want you to feel so bad about the things that have happened and what you've gone through. They want you to understand the process in which that happened and why that happened and where you're headed and how they're trying to help you now. So let's pull some cards to look more at you from the soul perspective. Upgrade, yes, major energetic upgrade so that you could come into this cosmic consciousness. The veil is lifting symbolism. You receive a lot of activation, whether you realize it or not, through different symbols, signs, numbers, all of that. All right. So if there's an interesting symbol that really calls to you and you're like, I don't even know what that is, you're being activated by it. Okay. So pay attention to symbolism, very important for you. Now we have the twin flame journey coming through. So some of you are absolutely part of a twin flame journey for this life experience. And you know, this, there's so much about this for Starseeds, but I'm not going to get into all of that. This is just a confirmation for you guys. And so some of this this cracking open could have been experienced through a twin flame journey. Consciousness, we have cosmic consciousness, and now we have consciousness right here. So yeah, big time shifting taking place there for you. And lastly, the prophet. So you have the gift of foresight. You know things before they happen. You are an amazing psychic. You have prophetic dreams. So you need to tap into that aspect of you, and that's probably also coming through this past life portal energy. You're really going to awaken to that gift that you hold within, being the prophet. Your consciousness is shifting, and you are going to be receiving like a lot of information at first. I think you understand it, but you don't know how to share it or express it with another person, and you have the lesson spirit guide to help you get much more familiar with the energy, come into it, and finally overcome some lesson that has just been repeating over and over. And it's like once that is completed, then the veil completely lifts and you are just in a different space. All right, let's pull some advice. So we had these two jump out. Magnificence, you are amazing, magnificent, and unique, but most importantly, you are enough. Believe it. I know some of these painful situations and circumstances has led you to believe the opposite of that, but here's your collective reminding you of such things. No limitations. You are a celestial being with unlimited potential. There is much more for you to share. See, that's why we've got to have the veil lift and this past life portal open for you. And vision. Trust in your ability to create the vision in your soul. You have the power, the spiritual fortitude to do so. So those are your messages from the Starseed Oracle and your collective. I am sending you guys lots of love and light. Take care.